Yo, what's good everybody? Tybo here in the video, and today we're going to be talking about the Titans, basically how I would rebuild them, what I'm looking for, what their needs are, who they're losing and stuff. So what I'm looking for, what I would look for if I were them in free agency and in the draft as well. I appreciate y'all. If you are new here, subscribe. I appreciate it. I'm going to be doing this for every team. We're going to in the draft order. This is kind of a new video thing that I'm doing, so if it's rough, my fault. I'll leave suggestions down below, please. So let's get into it. Really, we're going to talk about their needs, the upcoming free agents they have, and then who I would think they would sign or draft and stuff like that. So let's get into it, man. So really, their whole need is that offensive line besides their left tackle and left guard. Like, they just drafted JC Latham last year. They had Peter Skoronski from the year before. Those guys are solid, but center, right guard, right tackle, need, man. Wide receiver 2 and 3, they have Calvin Ridley there, who they signed last year. But besides that, like, they had Tyler Boyd and Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, who are becoming free agents this year. And Traylon Burks never worked out. That's right, that's his name. I don't know. My fault if I messed stuff up. But yeah, quarterback, big need as well. Edge rusher, linebacker, interior linebacker, safety, corner, D tackle, kicker, punter, since both y'all kicker and punter is up on free agency. So I honestly imagine you guys either resign them or get somebody new. I think it's like Nick Folk in Stonehouse. So Stonehouse is a good punter, yeah. So yeah, on your upcoming free agents are Jerome Baker, Sebastian Joseph Day, Nick Folk, Quandre Diggs, Mason Rudolph, Tyler Boyd, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, Daniel Brunskill, and Dylan Raduns. I don't know if I pronounced that right, my fault. Those are like significant players. Like, you got some other players that are out there, but not near as significant as some of these guys, right? Like, these are bigger names or guys who played a lot of snaps. And you damn sure don't want to go in with just, sorry if I'm looking down, I got a paper and stuff. I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying, man. Honestly, so yeah, let's get into it. I don't think this year you're going to be wanting to trot out Will Levis out there anytime soon unless it's needed. He'll probably be the backup. We'll see how that goes, I guess, right? I don't think they should draft a quarterback high. I don't think they should go Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. Those are like the typical 1 and 2 at this point. Just because, like, I don't think they're worth that. I don't think they're a top 1 pick. I think they're definitely going to go in the first round. I just don't think they're that highly drafted. And I don't think one of those guys changes how the Titans look. Like, they have too many other issues, honestly. So we'll talk about the draft a little bit more. So honestly, here, yeah, let's just go through free agency. I don't know why I'm saying honestly so much. What the fuck? Free agency. I have Sam Darnold on here as an option. I don't think it's likely. I think he's gonna want too much money because he did have a good year, but then he had a shit last to his playoff game and his last game against the Lions. Like, that was rough. I wouldn't pay him. I wouldn't pay Sam Darnold that much money, and I don't think he would do well on the Titans. I think they would still suck. I think he would do some dumb shit. These are, and then I got a couple guys here that like are like, they shouldn't be expensive. You sign them hoping that maybe they could be something. Then if they do good, great, we'll extend them, pay them more money, and they'll be our franchise quarterback. Or if they suck, we're getting a good draft pick next year for the quarterbacks next year. And that's Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, all from that, you know, that draft class. Jesus, that's insane. Trey Lance, like, really honestly hasn't got too much of an opportunity, and no, he hasn't looked amazing really anywhere, but he does have potential. Like, I guess if he somehow you sign him and he becomes the next big thing, holy shit, wow, right? Same thing with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, I think, honestly needs just a shot. I think he could do like a Sam Darnold kind of thing, in my opinion. Same thing with Justin Fields. Like, a little different, but he's got mobility, and like, they were able to win games if like the Titans really would just want to establish that they're a running offense and stuff like the Steelers were early on. Like, there's a reason they went on to Russell Wilson, because I do think Russell Wilson is better than Justin Fields at this point, but Justin Fields can win you some games, and like, I don't think the ceiling is super. I don't know. I think Justin Fields is probably the best option out of those three. Zach Wilson's probably up there. Maybe you hope he does the Sam Darnold thing, you know what I'm saying? Trey Lance, same kind of thing, but I feel like it's less likely with him as a Niners fan. It hurts my heart, but is what it is. Then you're kind of looking for like a game manager, I guess, just a bridge quarterback. I guess you could go Mac Jones, who's part of that draft class as well. I don't know, he played some okay games with Jacksonville, didn't stunk it up as well. That's what he's done his whole career. But if you need somebody, if you're tanking, man, tanking for who is it next year? Who is the quarterback? I don't even know who the next year quarterbacks are, but there's going to be somebody, right? You know what I'm saying? So then you could also go with like Russell Wilson, who I think could win you some games. Another game manager kind of guy. You just go in there, manage the game. I think he's the highest level of that. Yeah. Honestly, for the draft for them, I wouldn't go anybody late. Maybe if you're going to draft a quarterback, I would prefer the second to like fourth round section, maybe even after. You got Jalen Milroe. If you want, I would do this. If you sign like somebody like Russell Wilson, I would sit Jalen Milroe. I wouldn't try to trot him out there immediately. I just think that wouldn't work. I think that wouldn't work for a lot of these quarterbacks. I would still sign somebody if I drafted any of these guys. Jackson Dart as well. He's looked pretty decent at times. Like, you know, he's got some attributes people like, and he's not like a terrible athlete. Same thing with Quinn Ewers. His draft stock has tanked. He's not the best athlete. I don't know why I said pairing him, but like he could definitely. I think has the arm and stuff. Like he could do some things for you. And like he could be a decent, like you're not gonna have to trade up and spend a lot on him, and I think you could get like one of those guys for like a third, fourth round pick, fifth maybe even, and just it could be his quality starter for a little bit, maybe, you know. There's like also guys like Dylan Gabriel. I don't know how he would do in the NFL. And then same thing with like Kyle McCord. You could go with that way. Will Howard as well. Riley Leonard, I wouldn't really do because he's not really polished and he's just a good runner, in my opinion. He has a good arm and stuff, but still, I wouldn't go with any of those guys. Honestly, if I were to go with any of them, I'd probably go Jalen Milroe or Jackson Dart, simply because Milroe he could be insane if he's really good. It's just kind of developing him. You definitely need somebody to sorry, it got darker, my monitor turned off. You know, and then same thing, Jackson Dart, he kind of more ready, I guess, but you could go with him. I was gonna say fucking honestly again. Jesus, my fault, man, my fault. Let's move on to the O-line though. Let me know who you guys would want as a quarterback. O-line, this is where they need a lot of help. There's no really good centers in free agency, sadly, so is what it is. Just get somebody, you know what I'm saying? For your guard position, you got Trey Smith, who's going to be pretty expensive. He's played really well for the Chiefs. Besides in the Super Bowl, they were getting fucked up, man. That was a boring ass Super Bowl. Anyway, you got Will Fries, who played well, but he got hurt for the Colts. He could be an interesting guy. Same thing with kind of Tevin Jenkins. He's really good, but he's hurt a lot. Kevin Zeitler, he's pretty old. He's coming from the Lions, I believe, right? He could be he could be cheap, but he could be really good. And same thing, kind of Brian. He's hurt, but then he's good. He's not going to be like a top tier, but he's going to be okay, and that's better than what y'all have. So, you know, you could go with either of those guys. Are great veteran options. And if you want to take a flyer on like Tevin Jenkins and Will Fries, guys who've been hurt but look good when they're healthy, you know, there's not a lot of right tackle options, honestly. So you guys might have to look in the draft for that, is kind of how I would look at it. Also, for the draft, you got like guys like Tyler Booker and Jared Wilson, who you could look at like later in the draft. I wouldn't draft any interior guys early. I won't, like, even first, second round. I would probably wait till that third round range to go for that. And then you got your receivers. Like I said, you pay Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd. I think he was hurt a lot. Nick Westbrook-Akina, he's all right. You could bring in a guy like Chris Godwin, who'd be really good on. He would create a lot of. He creates a lot of separation, catches the ball really well. He's played well. Had been really productive with Tampa over these last couple years still, and he's getting up there. But I like him. He might be a little more expensive to bring in. It depends on where you spend your money and stuff. You got a guy like Darius Slayton, who could be a good deep threat, solid receiver. Just gives you that option. And then same thing with like Elijah Moore. He's more of a slot guy for the Browns. He's very young still. He's like 25, so he could be something. It could be nice. You get him in the right system, he could do some things. He's looked decent at times for the Browns. And then you got a guy like De'Ami Brown, who looked really good actually later on in the season. played well in the playoffs as well, so there's that. I think he was like what, a second round pick or something. Like he could be pretty decent. So and then you got a guy like Isaiah Bond in the draft. I don't think you guys would go receiver that early unless you traded back, but like Tetra McMillan, Travis Hunter, Luther Burden, like guys like that. You got Xavier Restrepo, who I'm a Canes fan, but he's really good. I think he could be a decent option in free agency. Also, resigning Boyd or Nick Westbrook-Ikhine isn't a bad option either, but I would definitely look to add another guy either via draft or free agency there as well. Now, edge is where it gets interesting. This is like a very important part, I feel like, for you guys. Oh wait, I didn't talk about tackles. Okay, real quick, we'll hop into offensive tackles for you guys in the draft. Like I said, I want to take what did I say? Will Campbell? Is Will Johnson? Will Johnson's the corner, right? Will Campbell's the yeah. Sorry, I'm getting names mixed up, man. Campbell. Yeah, I think that tackle out of LSU, early guy. I don't think you would take him number 1 overall. I wouldn't really take him unless you guys traded back. I don't know if there's a team willing to trade up to number 1 overall. I think the Titans would, because it would be their best interest, because they have like a first, a second, and then don't have a pick to like the 4th round. It's kind of, and they kind of need to be able to trade back, get as much talent on the roster as possible. So, but later in the draft, you could look at guys like Cameron Williams, I spelled this complete, Ariant something Ursay out of Minnesota. Ursay, my bad. I wasn't able to say it, and then I spelled it completely wrong, and now I can't read it, honestly. Josh Conley Jr. out of I think he's out of Oregon. Emory Jones out of LSU. Those are guys you could look to draft that could be really good, or really good, but at least be solid later in the draft, like from that second round later mark, second to third round. This tackle class is it's a really deep class too, so there's a lot of options there for you as well. So it's not like a bad thing to have. Having this need, it sucks because you're relying on a rookie, but it's not a bad class to need a tackle in, is what I'm trying to say. God, edge. It's kind of interesting. There's not too many options out there. You got like Malcolm Kuhn from the Raiders. He was hurt, but he looked really good when he was on the field. Azeez Ojulari from the Giants, mainly a pass rush specialist, but he looks really good in those reps that he has. Marcus Davenport, who's always hurt, but he's really good when he's on the field. Always hurt, low risk, high reward kind of guy. DeMarcus Lawrence, who's really old, but he's well rounded, will help you defend the run. Definitely has lost a step, but keep it going. Then you could draft a guy like Abdul Carter super early, maybe even James Pierce, depending on what they want to do. If they trade back, like I said, Abdul Carter is probably the only one really worth the number 1 selection, in my opinion, unless you traded to like that top 10 range, top 5, even take whoever you want. But Abdul Carter would be an absolute dog. And then like if you took somebody else, then you hopefully in the second round, or trade back up in the first round to get like a guy like Jack Sawyer. James Pierce, like I said, is really good as well. There's a lot of guys out there that are good. There's somebody out of Georgia. I can't remember his name. Oh my God. There's always somebody out of Georgia though, so I can't remember his name, man. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'd probably go Abdul Carter with my first round pick. Yeah. D tackle, you got DJ Jones, Milton Williams in the free agency. Williams I think he the one that I think he forced the fumble in the Super Bowl for the Eagles. DJ Jones just a big run stuffer, and you kind of need both of those. You got so let's go with it. Let's go. Also need safety as well. Like I said, I would love to see you guys sign like somebody like this. Is a good safety class for free agent class. Safety free agent class. There's a lot of guys that are available. Got Justin Reed. He's been really consistent and played well for the Chiefs. Trevon Moehrig, who's still a young guy who's gotten better and better. Elijah Molden, who played decent after going to the Chargers from the Titans. I don't know if y'all would bring him back. I forgot he was on the Titans. But he played really decent at safety. Julian Blackman, he does everything well, but played decent at times for the Colts, so there's that. I didn't really look at safeties in the draft too much. Like I don't know, it's just I feel like the free agent, I think definitely would bring in somebody through free agency. Now your guys' linebackers, you guys had Jerome Baker there, you traded Ernest Jones. Like, there's, you guys, I don't know, you definitely need to bring somebody in. Number one, I have Dre Greenlaw. Is a Niners fan. That hurts. I hope he stays in the Niners, by the way. By the way, a lot of these guys could get re-signed. Anybody that I'm mentioning, I'm just giving out ideas and stuff. So yeah, we'll actually won't know until free agency starts and stuff. So Dre Greenlaw, he's a dog. He's really good. I know his ACL injury was scary, but he came back and played good. He only played like 35 snaps, but he played good in those snaps. Excuse me. You got Zach Bond, who just made an all-pro team and played well on the Eagles. I doubt the Eagles let him go, but he would be a huge pickup as well, and like that. And then you got Robert Spillane, who's just a run-stuffing demon for the Raiders. If you would want something like that, that would work really well. Then you got Gerard Campbell. Is that dog? I can't even read my own handwriting. My apologies. But I think he's out of Bama, yeah. But good linebacker. If you draft him in the second round, third round, I wouldn't be mad. Like, you guys don't have a third round pick, but if you guys traded, you could make stuff work. All right, let your GM cook. All right, I don't know who you, but yeah, let your GM cook. Got a cornerback. There's a lot of outside corners out there. You guys got, oh my god, Roger McCreary is your slot corner, yeah. And then you got Awuzie is your other corner. I think I don't know if he was hurt. I know he's hurt on the Bengals last year. I don't know about this year, I'll be honest. I didn't watch a lot of Titans football. I'm just, anyway. But there's a lot of meh corners out there. You could sign one and just be decent. You could draft a guy later in the round, hope he does well. Or, like I said, you could go with the first overall pick. You go like a guy like Will Johnson out of Michigan. He's elite. Or you could go Travis Hunter, who is a really good corner as well. I'd play him at corner personally, play him at corner, and then have him come in as your wide receiver 3 on third down or whatever. Like, you throw in some packages for him at receiver, it's easier for him that way. But yeah, honestly, that's a lot. Like, honestly, I said honestly so many times. I apologize. I got to get that out of my vocabulary. With that first pick, I would either trade it, draft Will Johnson, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. Second pick, if you draft a corner, go edge, tackle, really just best player available at a position of need. So like linebacker, anything, the stuff we went through at the beginning. Late round options like Isaiah Bond at receiver, Xavier Restrepo, like I said, Tez Johnson. There's a lot of guys out there at receiver you could get, and same thing with the QBs. If you want a QB, go later in the draft. I want to draft a quarterback unless you traded back to like the top 10-ish, because I don't think they're worth the number 1 pick in this one, and you guys have too many issues that won't really help you all that much. But yeah, that's really it. Any recommendations for the video? Let me know what y'all think about the video and the Titans as well. Peace out. Love y'all.